Pricing policy. What is it and why should you have one? This is what we will be seeing in this video. Pricing policy. Some of those elements are need to obey by the law. For example, every product or item needs to have a price associated with it. Having said that, the price has to be in accordance with the promotional price that you have in your various advertising channel. That's to prevent having your consumer being misled. For example, if you sell a barbecue and you advertising it at $199 and the client comes into the store and realizes that the real price is $239, that is not fair to him and or her, and he might have recourses against you. So there's some elements that are directed by some laws in your region or in your countries, but there's other things that you include in your pricing policy that are not necessarily something that everybody will do. For example, return policies, that should be included in there. If you sell online, well, do you have a return policy that is very generous? What is it? What type of item? How long after the purchase can you return the product? Who pays for shipping? What about when you don't have the exact price in your store? What are the penalties? Do you obey by the laws of your country? Do you go a little bit further than that? So there's a lot of things that need to be covered in a pricing policy. So it is very important for you because it defines the type of relationship that you will develop with your clients. You have to sit down and you have to look at all of those various points where things might go wrong. What about if you offer financing and the client as taking the product and cannot make payments anymore? What happens then? That has to be laid out and you have to describe that. Now, the pricing policy will be a lot more elaborated, if you do finance some of the purchases of your clients, but if you have smaller ticket item that you don't necessarily offer financing, that does not necessarily exempt you from that. For example, I had at one point in my life, I had a ceramic tiling store. At that store, we had no return policy. No, if the product left the store, until it left the store, we would take it back if there was a problem, if there was a tile that was cracked, anything like that. But once it left the store, we had no return policy. The reason being is that around the store where we were, the roads were very bad. People would not necessarily load up the product properly, and it would break if people didn't drive properly on the road. Now, we didn't want to take responsibility for that, and we laid it out. So that's one of the things that you need to define in your policy. Now, I call this pricing policy, but obviously there's also return policy, and there's a lot of things that is included in that as well. Once you define those ground rules, well, might as well include a lot of things in there. So it is very important for your business, and it's not for everybody. You have to take into account that most of the people who will do business with you will try to do so in a very honest manner. They give you money for what you sell. They're happy receiving it, and that's the end of the story. But you do have clients that do abuse some of those policies. For example, there's an online shoe store that has a no question asked return policy when you buy online. Now, one of my friends is a delivery person, and he says that at that address, every day delivers 2 or 3 pairs of shoes. Why? Because the person returns the shoes after having worn them maybe once or twice. and the store accept those returns. Now, obviously, sometimes the policy to save you money might cost you money in administration and surveillance. So you have to make those evaluations. Is it worthwhile to for that shoe lady? Is it worthwhile to penalize that person and have the cost associated with that, or having a broader policy that would not penalize such people, but would seem to be very inclusive and possibly bring you more clients because they know or they understand that you trust them, even though you do have some people that will abuse it. So this is a very interesting topic. This is a topic that is rarely discussed. I wanted to bring it forth. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll see you there. Bye.